Sometimes DAX can be a little confusing, so at times you're probably wondering, what can I actually use that function for? Well, this week we're going to talk about calculate and how you can use it in your formulas. So let's get started. If you're finding my videos for the first time, make sure you hit like and subscribe below, and so you're notified of future videos. And this week, as I said, we're going to talk about the calculate function in Power BI. Now, last time we were here, we talked about iterator functions such as SUMX, AverageX, and how they differed from just your normal sum functions. This week, we're going to add a little bit more to that, and we're going to talk about calculate. Now, calculate can be used to adjust your filter context within your formulas. So, for example, you can take a measure and it will use the external filters such as those applied by a slicer or a matrix. So, for example, this here would be an external filter to our function. So it will take those filters and then it will apply any internal filters you add into your expression to that function and make and change the values as such. So for example, we have our average calculation that we used last time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and I'm going to create a new function or a new measure, sorry. And we're just going to call this one HSR distance average calculate equals. So we're going to do this here, but this time we're just going to go calculate. And we're going to use this AverageX still because we're going to need this for our other measure. And we're going to put load data. And then we're just going to use the HSR distance measure we used last time, or we created last time. And then all we're going to do here is we're just going to add all, and we're going to go load data, and we're just going to go date. So what we're doing is we're asking Power BI to look at our filters, I guess, being applied here within this figure. So we've got our dates and everything. And then we've got our external slicer here, asking it to be filtered by athlete 1, 2, etc. And then on that, we're just asking to adjust our filter slightly by looking at all of the dates in our load table instead, while finding the average of this measure over those times. So let's hit enter. And what we're going to do is we will add this to our line value. And you can see it changes slightly, so you're kind of thinking, okay, it must be there somewhere. So let's add this also down to the bottom here, and we'll hover over one of our bars. And you can see there that the value is exactly the same. So although we've done two different measures and they've been written slightly differently, you get exactly the same outcome. So first of all, last time we used some variables to get what we wanted using an all function within our filter. And then this time all we did was use our calculate function to average our HSR distance over all time for the player that's selected in our slicer. So that was very easy. Some other options you have for your for calculate is, let's do this as well, is you can apply some other functions within it. So let's do this one. We'll create a 7-day. So let's go calculate, and then because this is already a sum, let's just use this one, and then we'll go dates and period, and then we'll go date table, because we want all the date table. Oh, I actually want date table, date, and then we want the last date here, date table date, and then we're going to go -7 and day. And it'll add another bracket on the end for us. But now if we add this to our graph, we can see that I have the wrong date, so let's change that there quickly. Load data. Load data, hit enter, and there you go. You can see your 7-day sum over time, and that's just using an already created measure that you had before. So there was no added values into this, nothing was changed, and all you did was just add in your measure that you created. It applied that to each row of your data set and found and filtered our context slightly to include the 7 days beforehand. So that's pretty cool. There are scenarios in Power BI where calculate is required, and maybe we'll touch on those some other time. Those can be, for example, to use a relationship that's not active within your current data model, or it's for some of the other functions that are in Power BI that might not be relevant specifically to sport, but they might have a need in other areas of business and things like that. So again, just to summarize, calculate can be used to adjust your filter context. So it'll take the external filters you've already got applied to your figure or to your measure, and then apply any internal filters that you had. This differs a little bit slightly from the SumX and Sum functions, where they just look at typically the filters that are applied externally, unless you apply a filter function within. Alright guys, I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please make sure you hit like and subscribe below if you haven't already, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time, where we will continue to power performance through data. Thank you.